Ruling like we have never heard before on Capitol Hill, and it's pitting one woman against one man in a truth test that could jeopardize the chances for the latest Supreme Court nominee.
The confirmation hearings of Clarence Thomas will resume in the morning, but tonight people are split over just who to believe. Sandy Gilmore has more on today's controversial testimony.
An angry Judge Thomas denounced the Judiciary Committee for searching for dirt and making it public.
I think that this today is a travesty. I think that it is disgusting. I think that this hearing should never occur in America. This is a circus. It's a national disgrace. And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves, to do for themselves, to have different ideas.
Thomas said he had refused to watch Hill's testimony today.
You didn't listen to a testimony?
No, I didn't. You spent the entire day destroying what it has taken me 43 years to build.
He spoke about acts that he had seen in pornographic films involving such matters as women having sex with animals and films showing group sex or rape scenes.
The Capitol had never heard this kind of interrogation.
Did you ever say in words or substance something like, "there is a pubic hair in my Coke"?
No, Senator.
Did you ever refer to your private parts in conversations with Professor Hill?
Absolutely not, Senator.
Did you ever brag to Professor Hill about your sexual prowess?
No, Senator.
It was sincerely expressed, but so had been the testimony of Ms. Hill. Some discrepancies here and there. Why had she stayed in touch with him all these years? But as expected, it comes down to him versus her.
That was Sandy Gilmore reporting today's dramatic testimony as people everywhere, of course, talking about Clarence Thomas, Anita Hill, and sexual harassment.
And Portland is certainly no exception to that. Mary McDermott joins us now from the newsroom with local reaction to this story. Mary?
Well, Pete and Tracy, no one besides Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill knows for certain who's telling the truth here, but almost everyone has an opinion on it. Today's proceedings in Washington have sparked lively conversation in the homes and businesses of Portland.
Did you contact anyone in the private sector for a job? You've already talked
Late into the afternoon, Anita Hill faced questions that sparked comments wherever people gathered around a TV set. The Clarence Thomas-Anita Hill confrontation has touched a nerve.
If he did say the things that she says he said, I don't know how you could prove it.
Well, I feel that a lot of women have been sexually harassed, and I think a lot of them haven't come forward simply because they can't afford to lose their jobs.
Definitely. According to legal experts, sexual harassment has either become more common or less closeted.
I think that the community is beginning to recognize that harassment is not permitted or should not be permitted in the workplace. And women are becoming more and more vocal about making complaints.
Again, I'm operating strictly on recollection.
With more testimony scheduled for tomorrow morning, the jury, for some people, is still out.
I really hope he didn't do this because he'd lose a little bit of respect for him.
He referred to the size of his own penis.
But with words usually confined to the most private conversations suddenly having become so public, one thing does seem settled. Regardless of who's right here, the American conversation about sexual harassment will likely never be the same again.
We saw it today as high drama and riveting television. But in the everyday world, there are statistics to suggest sexual harassment is quite widespread. Lee Notnaris, the attorney you saw in our piece, tells us that way back in 1980, a survey showed that more than 40% of women in the workforce reported being sexually harassed. That, Pete and Tracy, was just after the court started recognizing sexual harassment as a legal claim.
Mary, were you kind of surprised at the intensity of the responses you got today when you went out to talk to people?
The responses were certainly intense. We often, as reporters, ask people about things they don't necessarily want to talk about. Today, we talked to a couple of dozen people or so, and for the most part, not only did they know about this issue and know it fairly well, but they really wanted to talk about it, and nearly everybody had a pretty strong opinion.
Okay, thanks very much, Mary. And those hearings will resume live right here on Channel 8 beginning at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Now, in the Columbia River Gorge tonight, firefighters are making gains on that forest fire near Multnomah Falls. The east winds have died down a little bit, helping the more than 1,600 people battling this blaze. Governor Roberts has activated the Oregon National Guard to provide transportation for firefighters. Right now, the folks here think they can continue making progress on this fire.
We get as much work done as we can, as fast as we can, to have it in good shape for Monday.
The east winds are predicted to die down even more tomorrow, and the temperature is expected to drop, and that means good news for people on the fire lines. Now, east of Eugene, another Oregon fire has crews busy tonight. This one about 10 miles east of Oak Ridge in the Cascades. The fire has now claimed about 500 to 600 acres of second-growth Douglas fir. About 200 firefighters are on the lines tonight in a blaze that is suspected to be arson-caused. East winds are pushing the fire away from Highway 58. More crews will be headed to the fire over the weekend.
In Portland's Pioneer Courthouse Square tonight, hundreds of gay men and lesbians turned out to take part in National Coming Out Day. The event is designed to encourage people to publicly proclaim their homosexuality. And that's what many people did this evening as they took the stage and told their personal stories of being gay in America. The event was organized by the No on Hate campaign, a coalition of gay and lesbian groups that are working to defeat the anti-gay efforts of the Oregon Citizens Alliance. Tonight's rally was just one of many held throughout the country in recognition of National Coming Out Day. And today, the Oregon Citizens Alliance did launch a campaign to eliminate gay rights in Portland. Earlier this month, the City Council passed an anti-discrimination ordinance which includes protection for homosexuals. The OCA this morning filed an initiative petition which would change the city charter. The initiative would prohibit any reference to sexual orientation in Portland laws. It prevents city government from promoting homosexuality.
We don't want to take a behavior that many people find morally wrong and put it into civil rights categories. And I believe most people are in that position.
Commissioner Mike Lindbergh disagreed. He predicts the OCA won't get enough signatures to put the initiative on the May ballot.
I'll listen to people, but I'm not going to change. I think they're saying that we're trying to promote certain behaviors. That's a complete distortion of the issue. All we're doing is concentrating on equal rights, human rights, and making sure that people cannot be discriminated against.
The OCA has until January 20th to gather more than 17,000 signatures. The group predicts it will be able to put the initiative on the ballots.
The man accused of murdering a 16-year-old Portland girl will not fight extradition. Instead, he'll return to Multnomah County to stand trial. 20-year-old Franklin Dashel today decided to surrender to Multnomah County authorities. He is accused of killing Heather Harper last month by slitting her throat. The girl's mother today said Dashel was obsessed with Heather and wouldn't let her go. Diane Harper wants the trial to begin.
The missing Heather and the void will never be over. It will always be there. He killed my daughter, and that will never be over.
Dashel's attorney said he decided not to fight extradition because he, too, wants the trial to begin.
A state board has ruled a Portland doctor accused of sexual abuse will need a chaperone now when he examines patients. 46-year-old Derry Lee Ridgway was accused of sexually abusing a 12-year-old cancer patient. Ridgway was acquitted of criminal charges in the case, but the State Board of Medical Examiners took separate action. In addition to the chaperone, Ridgway will have to undergo psychiatric care and report to the board for the next 10 years. The board says Ridgway's license will be revoked if the requirements are not met. A heart attack claims a Hollywood actor. We'll have that story just ahead.
And Elizabeth Taylor takes on the media for trying to get a glimpse of her wedding. And here we go again. Televangelist Jimmy Swaggart is found with an admitted prostitute.
This edition of News 8 is closed caption for the hearing impaired through a generous grant from Smith's Home Furnishings, because nobody cares like Smith's.
You know, you're one of the hardest interviews I've ever done.
Melting down the Iceman. Monday.
Your G.I. Joe's fall coupon book has arrived, full of savings on lots of great items. Stock up on Havel and Formula 3 motor oil, only 94 cents a quart. For longer nights, get Sylvania light bulbs, now just at $1.49. And check out all the bargains you can get for under $10. Plus, enter to win a new Subaru 4-wheel drive Legacy. The best savings of the season are in your G.I. Joe's fall coupon book now.
With the school year back in full swing, you need all the time savers you can get. Here's a start. Tender, savory ham. It makes a succulent meal, and better yet, you'll have leftovers for lunchtime. This week at Thriftway, Golden Prairie whole boneless hams are just $1.59 a pound. And don't miss the Thriftway Fall Coupon Book. It's filled with savings on everything from Suave shampoo to Western Family medium cheddar cheese.
At Thriftway, you always get our best.
Watch carefully. What you are about to see is fast, very fast. When the Pennzoil Special is racing at 230 miles per hour at Indy, its engine needs all the protection it can get. And that's what it gets with Pennzoil. The same straight-off-the-shelf Pennzoil quality that goes in your car. On the road or on the racetrack, nothing performs like Pennzoil, because nothing protects like Pennzoil.
Pennzoil, ever since America learned to drive.
Well, while the Clarence Thomas confirmation hearings were underway in Washington, D.C. today, President Bush took action on another matter. He vetoed a $6.4 billion unemployment bill. Now, that bill would have provided up to 20 additional weeks of benefits for the unemployed. Unemployment benefits currently expire after 26 weeks. Mr. Bush says the measure is too expensive and unnecessary because he says the recession is over. In California, thousands of angry demonstrators stormed the state capitol in Sacramento protesting the governor's stand on gay rights.
Stopped him. They found him with a known prostitute. That prostitute, Rosemary Garcia, says Swaggart acted nervous and asked if there was a hotel close by that showed X-rated movies when he picked her up.
What did he ask for?
For sex. I mean, that's why he stopped me. That's what I do. I'm a prostitute. And he asked for sex.
But Garcia claims they were pulled over shortly after he picked her up. She says she didn't find out it was Jimmy Swaggart until police took her downtown for questioning. Swaggart was embroiled in a sex scandal in 1988 after a photo showed him leaving a motel room with another known prostitute. Swaggart asked his followers for forgiveness and was back on the air a month later. He was not available for comment tonight.
They said they'd stay inside the Scientific Research Dome for 2 years, but already that vow has been broken. One of the people who went into the biosphere 2 weeks ago, planning to stay for 2 years, is coming out already. A spokeswoman for the environmental experiment says Jane Pointer is undergoing surgery at an Arizona hospital for a severed fingertip. It was cut off when she caught it in a rice threshing machine in the biosphere. Pointer is hoping to return to the colony right after the surgery.
2 weeks,
not a
2
good
years.
start. Yeah.
Joe joins us next to see how the weekend is shaping up. That's just